So hello everyone. So we will see today how one second how try catch and finally works in Java. So first of all, that are used to handle exceptions in Java. Like if we write a program and unwanted exception occurs, so try catch will handle the exception comfortably and will execute the rest of the code in our application. So it will allow us it's like a feature to us. So our whole application will not get blocked after a particular point wherever application exception occur. So in that case we can use try catch. And finally is a keyword. Let's see what how it works. So try basically let's start with try. So try basically a block of code in which a exception occurs, so it will give that exception to handle a catch block. So let's see how it works. Let's move to the start with the slides now. So try catch and finally, so I'll move to the next slide. So that's an example of a try catch block. You can see here if you already know that if something is divided by 0, it will always throw exception in Java. So that try block will surely throw an exception of arithmetic exception of type. That's a type of exception. You can normally write here exception. If you don't know the type of exception, class of exception type, so you can normally write here exception. So in that case, if try block will throw an error, it will directly redirect to catch block and it will print the exception here. And after that, you already put try and catch, so that application will not get broken. So after that, the rest of the code, like the last line, will runs properly. And let's see the other slides. And here's one more example of try and catch. This uh, this code is an example of code in which we can see here. If inside a try block, if we write a particular statement in which might be some chances that there will occur an error in future or somewhere sometime whenever we run the code, and after that you write anything after that error, it will not run in that case. So this example showing here is that the system.out.println abc will not runs here because it will data will throw an error of arithmetic exception. So it directly redirect to catch block, and the system.println line, it will not run here. So that's how try block works. If an exception throws in a try block, after lines of that exception will not run in that case. So that's a try catch block, a different example of try catch. Let's move to the other slide now. That's an example of finally block. Finally block is something like that. If a exception occurs, no, something where whatever will happen to the program, if we write a return type in a try catch, it always runs. Finally block always runs. That's not, you will find a case in which finally block not executed. So here's an example. It will that's a simple example. That data will not throw an error because it's easily visible by something like that, and it's not a 0. So it will not throw an exception, and catch block will not run here. But finally block will always run, and the rest of the code, because try catch block is already here, so rest of the code will run here and final block. So you know that. So move to the other example. Since there are multiple nested try catch, that's example of nested try catch. So if you wanted like multiple things, if you wanted a catch exception, want to run the catch line in which exception occur, and after that some more codes in a try block, and the try block, and so you can use multiple try catch in a particular statement. By according to the situation, you can use precisely that. If you want to run some code after try catch, you can use try catch, and apart from that, you nested try catch in which you want, if a exception throws, that the after code after the other try, it will run too. So in that case, we use try catch or multiple try catch I will explain you a bit this in my code representation, so you will understand better in that scenario. So let's move to the next slide. So that's the end. So let's move to the code now. Let's see here example. First we create a project of try catch. Give me a second. So that's our main function. So write something that will throw an error, that might throw an error. Let's see. Firstly, the example that I already have, it will surely throw an error. That's a general class for exception. If you know the class of the error that will get thrown from that scenario, so you can write there like arithmetic something that prints the error first. And let's run this code. So you can see that our java.lang arithmetic exception occurs because it is divided by 0. So in that case, try block will not run. Let's put out another line after that, so we can make sure that the code after exception statement will never execute. Check something. Let's run this code. So that's line isn't print here, so move to the first and check if that's print or not to confirm the scenario. Yeah, you can see that upper statement is printed here below here, and after that the error, the second statement will not presented here. So let's move to the finally now. So let's run this code. In this case, a exception will occur. So let's run this code. You can see that finally always runs is printed below. So that's the case. So let's do not throw the error this time. Let's see if finally runs or not. Yeah, in that case too, finally runs. So one more example that we can have multiple catch. If in code, so it's a basic example. If we can have multiple catch here. For some cases, if we want to print a different do a different code, want to execute a different code in different scenarios like arithmetic exception or string exception, so we can differentiate catch like this. So let's see here what will happen. So let's see which one of the exception will occur. I think Okay, so that there is a error of that's we already used that error in above code. The exception, every exception occurred in that exception class, so we have to use a different error here. So we can use here error index bound exception or to customize things because that's throwing the error. So we have to now do this. So let's now run the code. In this case, exception will not occur because here is 5. So change it to 0. Yeah, you can see here uh, the check 11 statement once. After that, arithmetic block runs because the exception type of exception is arithmetic exception, and always like finally always runs. So customize things a bit now. Let's see with the array. Let's generate an array and initialize it with that and put that length of that array is 4 and just remove that one. Trying to put value on fourth index, you know that index of length is always less than the length of the array, max length, max index. So here that array index is up to 3, so it will throw an error if I try to put some values on the fourth block, like the fourth index, 4 index. Try to put something here, anything, and see what kind of exception will occur now. So you can see here the exception will occur is error index out of bound exception, and the other catch block will not run here because of all normally always always a single catch block will run, not the others in that same scenario. So let's try something else too. No, that's not going to work. Let's see, but I think index out of bound again. Yeah, index out of bound again because already error will be thrown here. So the after that thing the code will not execute after that statement. So let's try catch and finally, and if we want to, like in some scenario, a nested try catch, let's try. Let's try, and that's our catch for that try. Just put exception here. And let's try to run that again. Give me a second. So in this case, the outer try should not be run because we already handled that code with try catch, so it will not uh, throw an error. So let's see what will happen. So you can see here in its count of exception finally always runs, but we are not seeing the outer catch running here. So let's see in which case it will going to run. After the try catch, we put something like this. That's when this is the rest of the code here. If we put something like try catch in your code, the rest of code of the code will always runs properly. So, but it will throw an error. So outer try catch will handle that in that case and print that one. So let's see. So yeah, you can see here finally always runs. Finally here Java index area bound with exception and outer catch always. And error, if you want to see what kind of error is here, is it generally arithmetic. So let's run that again. So that's the error, arithmetic exception. That's how we can write our code using try catch. And if you want some code to be run exactly if after the exception with thrown, so we can handle things like this. And we can use nested try catch too. And finally code of block always run, block of code. So that's all for this video. Let's meet in the next video. Thanks.